Izoni, Thousand-Eyed versus Master Thopterist. We're going to keep this hand. We're on the play. And see if we can get into... Yeah, we should be able to play out a Bayou with the first fetch land and then go into Sol Ring and Nim Deathmantle. Nim Deathmantle is a combo with our Ashnod's Altar and then something like Avenger of Zendikar or Grave Titan. And what you do is you pay 4 to revive something with Nim Deathmantle and bring the creature back from the graveyard once it's died. So what happens is something like Grave Titan will come back and it will come in with 2 creature counters, creature tokens on it, and then you sacrifice with Ashnod's Altar for 2 mana apiece the Grave Titan itself and the one of the creature tokens, and that will leave you with 1. Then you put the 4 mana you just created into Nim Deathmantle. That'll bring the Grave Titan back, create more tokens, etc. and so forth, and you just keep going like that. Can we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We can get down Genesis and aim to get it into the graveyard. That is going to mean shocking in an Overgrown Tomb here. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Genesis is a card that we like to have in the graveyard. At the beginning of your upkeep, if it's in your graveyard, you can pay 3 and return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So once you've milled a lot of cards into your graveyard, you can start selecting through for 3 mana what cards you'd like to bring back. Nim Deathmantle, when it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, we're allowed to pay 4. It's yeah, we can give it +2/+2 and Intimidate, I think. Actually, no, because then we won't be able to grapple with tomorrow. We'll just swing in for 4. And most likely our opponent isn't going to block with their commander. And we don't want to yield through till the end of the turn. We do want to grapple for tomorrow. Master Thopterist is a 1/4 for 3 mana, and for 2 you can sacrifice 2 artifacts and draw a card. And whenever you cast an artifact spell, you create a Thopter token. Yeah, I've always wanted to make a Thopter tribal deck, so might have to make Master Thopterist at some point. We'll yield to that. Our opponent getting down a tapped Sky Diamond and passing over to us. And gonna peck us for 1 also. So what we are going to do now is start getting our self-mill into action. And we get a Satyr Wayfinder. I think we'll grab the Satyr Wayfinder because that is more self-mill for us. And we can always throw it in the way of anything that is worth blocking. We will go now for the Solemn Simulacrum. I think we'll sack it to the Phyrexian Altar and then get down the Satyr Wayfinder. Go for a black off of this. And then we'll go for green, sack the Solemn, and Nim Deathmantle will always yield to the Solemn, and we do of course want to draw a card off of that. And we do not want to Nim Deathmantle. We could go for the Golgari Signet. Yeah, I'd like to accelerate our mana there. We could go for Eternal Witness into Solemn next turn, maybe. How much mana will we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we can do that next turn. And keep pressure on our opponent with this Genesis. And just going to chump block with the Thopter, which is fine with me. I wonder if the Thopters in this deck are just used to chump block like that until our opponent gets down to their final combo or big creature that they want to cast, something like that. I'm not actually sure what the classic tactic is with Master Thopterist. is good to see a new commander on the channel. And Trading Post can do a lot of work. It's like a planeswalker in artifact form. And we'll just take the one from Sai, Master Thopterist, putting us on a 19 turn clock now. And we can make our land drop for the turn now. Can we get Runescarred Demon out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can do that. Might be running straight head first into a counter spell. But it does at least get a counter spell out of our opponent's hand. So let's try and see if we can go for that. It does not, so our opponent might not be running a lot of counter in this, a lot of counter spells in this deck. And what do we want to go for though? We could go for the Grave Titan or the I think I like Grave Titan, to be honest. It's a good way to keep pressure on our opponent. And if we draw into Ashnod's Altar, we can go infinite with it. But failing that, it is just a good creature to have on board. As is a 6/6 flyer, of course. And okay, our opponent going for a goat token there with the... I think they have to pay a life to do that. On tap, pay a life, and get a goat token. So going to chump block with that, and we are going to make it more difficult than that for our opponent when Grave Titan comes down. And it would be nice actually to play Grave Titan and hold up 4 mana for Nim Deathmantle, which should be easy enough with Phyrexian Altar. We can at least sacrifice the tokens to do that. Unwinding Clock is quite scary. Untap all artifacts you control at the beginning of each other player's untap step. And they can get out more goat tokens this way. Look at the artwork on that. That's really nice. Shared Discovery. There's an additional cost to cast it. Tap 4 untap creatures you control, you draw 3 cards. Okay, fair enough. Might as well if they're going to untap at least 2 of them with the Unwinding Clock. We'll probably see another goat token from our opponent at the end of next turn. Or they could, with 2 blue, they could be holding up counter magic, so I'll have to see if we can actually get this Grave Titan past them. And we do have the Eternal Witness to help get the Grave Titan back if we don't manage to get it past a counter spell that they might have in hand. Let's see, that's 3 mana. And then 1, 2, and 3. And then if they counter this, we can go straight in for the Eternal Witness and try again next turn. But we do manage to get Grave Titan out. Now the question is, do we bother Satyr Wayfinder Ing? What's that? We can return a land card. So that would be 2 mana, and then we would have 1, 2, 3... No, I think I just want to hold up the Nim Deathmantle. We'd only have to sack 1 zombie this way. If we want to get back the Grave Titan. And this is assuming that they're playing destructive magic. They might just be... Okay, yeah, another goat token there. So they will get to keep a Thopter, assuming that they block the Runescarred Demon, which I imagine they will. Rather take 1 life than take a hit for 4 from the Genesis. And of course, if we didn't manage to get the Eternal Witness to grab Grave Titan back or the Runescarred Demon, we could of course sacrifice Genesis and just pay 3 mana to return it to our hand. Could do it that way. Seeing 8 mana for an Ugin, that is... Yeah, I'm glad we have Phyrexian Altar in play now, because I'm assuming we're going to see a Wrath here. I mean, maybe not, but I have to assume it's going to be a Wrath. Yeah, so for 7, that forces us to sacrifice everything here. Because it is exile, yeah, so we can't get around that. We'll just kill the Grave Titan. We'll kill the Runescarred Demon. And we'll get rid of Genesis as well. And then bringing them back, unfortunately, we'll just make sure that they are exiled with Ugin. So, did I just... What is going on? Did I just click yes for that? It's a good job I don't have to pay mana for this thing. Okay, no. Alright, I have no idea what's going on here. Just sacrifice. Sacrifice. I don't want to bring you back. Okay, there we go. Am I up on mana for doing that? I have no idea if I just fell into some kind of strange little combo there. Yeah, nothing else for us to do. Let's just yield to our opponent. And I think we'll go for 3 mana off the Genesis into... Yeah, I think we'll just go for Grave Titan. So we always yield to that. And we go boop and boop. 1, 2 and 3, yeah. And into Grave Titan we get another land off the top. And here we go. Just try again with the Grave Titan. And unfortunately can't hold up Nim Deathmantle mana, because that would cost us 4. We'd have to sack 2 zombies and tap 2 lands. Throwing out a gold creature token. And that trading post does a hell of a lot of work. You can pay 1 tap and discard a card to gain 4 life, which will allow you to make 4 goat tokens over the course of the next 4 turns. You can pay and tap to sack a creature, which will return an artifact card from your graveyard to your hand, or you can sack an artifact and draw a card. Very good card, trading post. Don't see a lot of people playing that, and yeah, I think it is very underplayed. Going for a Coalition Relic, which will allow them to put 2, I think they're charge counters, which will allow them to put 2 charge counters onto the Coalition Relic, the Unwinding Clock will. And Mind Stone, yeah, going all out on the mass artifact front. I think next turn we might Genesis for Runescarred Demon. And that will leave us with 2, 5, 6, 7 mana. So I think we'll just Satyr Wayfinder and see what we can get off of that. Yeah, so we'll put that on the stack and go for Runescarred Demon. And let our opponent pass priority to us. That will be same again. Pay for all that and get back the Runescar and see what we draw into here. Sheoldred is very good. We'll go for Satyr Wayfinder here. Actually, do we want to? Do we want to just... Can we get down Sheoldred? She costs 5, I think. 5, 6, 7, sorry. 5 generic mana is what I was looking at. 5, 6, 7, we can just get down Sheoldred. I don't mind doing that, to be honest. Well, we'll swing him first. And get some more Grave Titan tokens. And having 4 tokens, assuming none of them die here, which they might do, depending on how our opponent blocks. They might just chump everything. But if none of our zombie tokens die, then we can leave up Phyrexian Altar, sacrificing the zombies and getting down the Nim Deathmantle if our opponent board wipes at all, which I don't see how they can in blue, but maybe there's some colourless variant that they're using. So we'll go into Sheoldred, which will force them to start sacrificing these goat tokens, which I'm sure we're going to see another one of at the end of the turn. Saving them a hell of a lot of life, those goat tokens. And yeah, put another charge counter Oh, it didn't have one on it in the first place. Yep, always going to yield to the trading post, throwing out goat tokens, and hopefully get to a point where we can force our opponent to well, start taking a hit to the face. If we can get rid of enough of these Thopter and goat tokens. Always yield to the Coalition Relic. Yeah, the Coalition Relic is tap, put a charge counter on it. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you remove all the charge counters from it and add a mana of any colour per charge counter removed this way. And with the unwinding clock, that allows you to put multiple charge counters onto it. Okay, Trophy Mage goes for an artifact with CMC 3 exactly. So I'll be intrigued to see what they can go for there. It might be a sword or something like that, which I hope it isn't, of course. But we could Runescarred Demon and try and get rid of that, so I don't think it would be too catastrophic to our game plan. If Crystal Shard, I'm not sure I like. In fact, I know I definitely don't like. That drags the game out way too much. I'm going to go for Runescarred Demon next turn and try and get a Rex Sage. Yeah, the Crystal Shard is blue and tap. Return target creature to its owner's hand, unless its controller pays 1. We could just pay the 1. Yeah, we'll actually sacrifice a zombie to do that. Make it a tapped 1. And we get a mana there. And yeah, we're always going to pay that because we don't want to start having our things bounced. Okay, giving all these tokens a buff. Let's see how much mana we have. We have Runescarred Demon into Rex Sage will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 exactly we have. So I actually want to get rid of this favourable winds now, because they can block us more favourably with the Thopter tokens and actually start dealing some damage to us as well. So yeah, I think I want to play around the Crystal Shard and get rid of that favourable winds. Okay, I'm going for Glint Nest Crane. I don't know what this does. This is a 1/3 flyer. It enters the battlefield. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal an artifact, and put the rest on the bottom. Yeah, that's fine. Well, depends on what artifact they reveal, of course. So let's see. It's the top 4 cards. Oh, Memnite is very bad. Yeah, Memnite's not good. Well, that's next turn, and that's one of the finishers that I was talking about. This deck is obviously about dragging out the game for as long as they can. And I think we'll get Solemn off the Whispering one, and then Genesis can target itself and we will not pay for it. So I wonder if there's anything that we can get to kill off the Memnite. I don't know if we have a Croson Grip in the deck at all. We could just go straight for Ashnod's Altar, couldn't we, and go infinite on them. We'll go for the Swamp there. Altar of Dementia. Can we do anything with Altar of Dementia? Now I'm thinking. Well, why don't we go for our infinite combo? Let's tap. And that's 1, 2, and one more. Yeah, we'll go for Ashnod's Altar and hope that Memnite doesn't go absolutely insane on us next turn. So Ashnod's Altar. 1, 2, and 3. And then what we do here is we go, we'll sack the Solemn Simulacrum, and we'll say yes. We'll say no to that in Death Mantle trigger. We'll sacrifice a we'll sacrifice a Rune-Scarred Demon because we don't want them to Memnarch anyway. Get it with Memnarch, I mean. We'll say no to that one. And then we will sacrifice Grave Titan. And we'll say yes this time, which will bring it back. And throw out 2 creature tokens. And we can just create as many zombies as we feel like we need to with this. So we will sack the Grave Titan there, say yes. That'll throw out tokens, and we just do this until we've got more tokens than we know what to do with. So I think I will just keep doing this and fast forward the video. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that and pass it over to our opponent and see what they can do with this Memnarch. Gone down quite a few minutes on the clock, and I don't want to have to sit and click through Memnarch triggers because I don't want to yield until the end of my opponent's turn. Props to my opponent for sitting through that. It did, well, you'll obviously be able to see the difference in time with the clock there. I don't know how long it took. I think it was about 2 or 3 minutes, and they did just sit through until the end there. Memnarch is coming in, and it can turn. It turns permanents into artifacts in addition to their other types for 3 mana, and then pays 4 mana to gain control of a target artifact. So if they want to, they can actually take Ashnod's Altar from us and Phyrexian Altar, but I think now they're just fishing for a land to actually do something with all of this, maybe a Cyclonic Rift or something like that. I at least got to show off the combo that you can do with this deck if you want to build it yourself. This is the type of thing that you can try and go for. And Helmar Depths is going to filter the top few cards, and then they will be able to draw into something with the Mind Stone. So hopefully our opponent doesn't have anything too good on the top. They can of course draw a card by sacrificing a Thopter as well. So we'll have to see if our opponent actually has anything here for us. Okay, going for Field of Ruin on one of our lands. I don't really care about that, to be honest. Not at this point in the game. It's I'm hinging everything on really this zombie army swinging in next turn. And we have 3, 4, 5, 6 tokens in play currently. Okay, trying to draw a card and get into some answers. Still have at least 7 mana up. 8, 9 mana. Okay, and yeah, fishing for answers at this point, so we might see a win for our zombie token army here. Unfortunately, don't have a means of giving all our... Okay, fabricating for... I'm sure there is an artifact that can tap and destroy everything, and unfortunately that unwinding clock will allow them to... I think it's... Is it 3 to put out and then something like 4 to set off? Or there's there's Nevinrar's Disc as well, so that will wipe the board here. Yeah, what will happen here is that it will untap with the unwinding clock, and then for 1 untap destroy all artifacts, creatures and enchantments. That does get rid of all their artifacts. I think we'll still be able to pull out a win, to be honest, because we have Genesis in the graveyard and we can get back Sheoldred. And yeah, I don't think all is lost with that. It will take our land count down quite a bit. Yeah, they're going to get some damage in the air while they still can before they wipe the board next turn. And we could next turn go for a Hail Mary and Altar of Dementia to get lots of things into our graveyard. We want to Sheoldred the Rune-Scarred Demon. And then I think we want to Genesis for nothing. Actually, why don't we... Oh, we can't. Can we sacrifice anything in response? I was going to sacrifice the Sheoldred, but we can't do that, unfortunately. I wanted to get Sheoldred in the graveyard in response to that, but it wouldn't let us do that for some reason, so obviously that's not legal. Yeah, if we could have got Sheoldred into the graveyard, we could have paid 3 to get back Genesis. Get back Sheoldred with Genesis and at least have it in our hand for next turn. Or even this turn in response to the Nevinrel's Disc. Or after the Nevinrel's Disc has gone off. We at least get a tutor here before our opponent decides to blow up the board. So let's see what we want to go for here. Maybe something like Gnaw to the Bone would be good to get our life total up a little bit. But it looks like they are just going to bounce Psy. I don't think there's anything we can do about that, so yeah, fine. They want to just be able to pay that out for 3 next turn as opposed to the 5 with command attacks. And then, yeah, going to blow up everything now. So, yeah, fine. Oh, actually, what we should do there... Yeah, we should have gone for the Ashnod's Altar. And do we want to get it on Rune-Scarred Demon? No. We could get it on Grave Titan. In fact, I think that's the fastest way to end out this game. We'll just get back Grave Titan again. And we'll say no to the Sheoldred. And then Rune-Scarred Demon can get us something that can get cards back. Oh, actually, Eternal Witness can do that, so we'll just go for... What is the name of that card? We'll just go for Rex Sage. I was looking for the card that will give us life, and I can't remember the name of it, so we will go for Eternal Witness now. And we'll go for Ashnod's Altar. And we'll say yes to that. And then we can entomb for... What is the name of this card? Gnaw to the Bone is what it's called. So now we know to look under G. Gnaw to the Bone. There we go. We can gain back a little bit of life if we want to. We are running very low on the clock because of that combo that we just made our opponent sit through. And we do have Gnaw to the Bone, which will give us 2 life for each creature card in our graveyard, just in case our opponent starts getting a Thopter army down on us. Luckily for us, they did have to wipe their artifacts out. And I forget how much Memnite costs. It's 7 to get out, and then 3 to... Oh, they're going for Staff of Domination. Yeah, this is really about dragging the game out as much as they can, so they can... oh, they can't tap down our Grave Titan, luckily, so glad that we got the Reclamation Sage off the Staff of Domination there, but we do need to worry about Memnite still. We can go for the Sheoldred here. And And do we pay 3? Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I want to get out Ashnod's Altar as a sack outlet to get Eternal Witness back into the graveyard. And then we can get back Nim Deathmantle with the Eternal Witness if we want to. Hope to not see a counterspell here. Yeah, because we don't want Staff of Domination to go too crazy on us. But they are going to tap down the Grave Titan, I imagine. Yeah, tapping down the Grave Titan, but they'll only do that once because I don't think they're going to bring that back this game. We'll get down Ashnod's Altar. And we'll go for sacrificing the Eternal Witness and go for Ravenous Chupacabra on our opponent's commander. And then swing in with our zombies. And quickly pass the turn over to our opponent. So now at least we can sacrifice things in response to Memnarch. They will have to play it for 7, and then 8, 9, 10 to turn something into an artifact, and then 4 to gain control of the artifact. And if they do play Memnarch, I will sack the Rex Sage. But they're going to get Psi Master Thopterist out first. Yeah, so I will sack the Reclamation Sage. Sort of the Animist isn't something I'm worried about. I think they're just trying to get as many Thopters out as they can now for jump blocking. Yeah, so going to sack the Rex Sage here, I think. No, they're just going for... They're just going to try and draw this game to a close, I think. I might actually, just to make Gnaw to the Bone a little bit more potent, I think what we could do is wait to sack the Rex Sage next turn with the Altar of Dementia, get some more lands in the graveyard. Yeah, I think we'll go for Ewit here, and yeah, on second thoughts, why don't we just sack the Rex Sage here to help pay for this trigger. And see, our opponent passes to us here. I think we just go for Gnaw to the Bone. Yeah, 1, 2. See how much life we gain here. Okay, we gain 10 life from that. And then I think we can go after our opponent's commander there. And then swing in with everything. I might get rid of the Ashnod's Altar, get rid of the Ravenous Chupacabra with the Ashnod's Altar, so that one, we have the option of bringing it back next turn to kill something, but also so we can get the Altar of Dementia out, because I do want another sack outlet, just in case they get rid of the Ashnod's Altar and then start taking things with the Memnarch. We do only have 2 minutes left on the clock, but unfortunately I can't auto-yield because I do want to be able to respond with our sack outlets. I'm just really hoping that our opponent doesn't draw into something good here. They can, unfortunately, thanks to the artifact land. They have 3 lands in the 3 artifacts in play, which means that they can sack Inventor's Fair for 5 mana and search for an artifact. So I'm not sure what they go after here. They're probably just trying to time us out, which is pretty unfortunate. It's not a good way to win, but it's It's not certainly not a good way to lose, but it's my own doing. Okay, going for Spine of Isar. And we'll see what they target here. Probably going for the Grave Titan. Yep, going for Grave Titan. So we'll just sacrifice the Grave Titan with Altar of Dementia and sack. Yeah. And we'll get some stuff into the graveyard there. And I don't know if Craterhoof... I think Craterhoof does it actually. But do we have the mana for it? I don't think we do. That is 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can get... Yeah, I think we can do that next turn. Yeah, I think that's how we win this, to be honest. If we go into Genesis Wave on Craterhoof, then sack a zombie and pay a green, we can get that back. We get a land drop which helps. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Takes us into Craterhoof, and then we can swing into our opponent for lethal, and they don't let us take the hit, which is very rude. But yeah, that's with 54 seconds on the clock. I am genuinely shaking. Didn't even cast our commander. That is Izoni 1000-eyed. That is the type of thing that you can do with Golgari self-mill. I hope you're enjoying Guilds of Ravnica week so far, and I hope you enjoyed this game. I'm Tribalkai on the EDH channel, and if that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. We'll see you in the next one.